Hello, hello. Dylan Guttersnipe. First one, and I saw your comment then. What's up, dude? Thanks for joining us. From New Zealand, right? I think you mentioned New Zealand. Anyway, let's see. How many people we got on here so far? Here, I'll open it up on the... Uh-oh. Our animal's getting FOMO right now. Yeah, we got one right now, so just gonna wait a little bit. How's everyone? Drop something on the chat. Let me I'm gonna write something on here. I think there's a, this is our first time doing this on YouTube. Live streaming, that is. Oh yeah, here we go. Start a Q&A. All right, I'm gonna put something on here. Okay. Okay. Sorry, bear with me here. Okay. All right, here we go. Start the Q&A. Oh. Here, let me do that again.
Beginners.
I know, like I said, we're new at this here, so so far I see Dylan. He's like, let's see, answer viewer question. Start. Oh, here we go. There we go. I know this is very riveting television. And oops. Okay. All right, I'm starting a poll. Here we go. Have you liked and subscribed to As We Go Along with Angel? Vote yes or no. We are standing by for score. Yeah, so far it's only one right now. So anyway. Yeah, shoot, I guess we can just start right now, even if it's just one person here. But anyway, welcome to As We Go Along with Angel, our 300th subscriber live stream special event. October 17th, 2025. It's a Friday. It is 8 o'clock on the dot. So I'm guessing everybody's either showing up fashionably late. I know how that is. But anyway, welcome, whoever's watching now. Please drop something on the comments. We'd love to hear from you. Yeah, we are doing this live stream to say thank you to all our subscribers, all 300 of them.
Yes, thank you.
It's taken us 2 years to get to 300, and yeah. Well, we learned a lot through the 2 years of this channel. So as you can see, we're learning the whole live stream thing on YouTube, which actually, well, correction, I have done YouTube live streams for a previous project that is pretty much, and this is good that nobody's here. It does spin of history right now. Oh, looks like we got 2 people on here. So anyway, I used to do a YouTube show a long time ago called
It's in the past.
Blank and Blank with Blank and Angel.
Yeah,
is what it was called.
Yeah.
And we used to do YouTube lives, very ramshackle, very but there was a charm to it, of course. So, but
well, you brought the charm.
Thank you. Babe. So and then yeah, anyway, so this is our first YouTube live stream thing. I'm Angel, in case you don't know who I am. I just want to take a moment here. this is the woman this is the person too that there would be no As We Go Along with Angel if it wasn't for this woman, Athena.
Aw.
Athena Luna. That's her. That's what she goes under. You've been a big supporter of not only me and all the info that I have in my head and the people that I know, and for the longest time you were always like, you need to do something with your knowledge. You need to monetize your brain. I remember that was
and share it with the world.
And share it with the world.
Seems like a shame just to keep it all up just in there.
Sure, right? And we're at this time in our life where we have access to technology. We have YouTube, the great YouTube. Even though I got a weird letter.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, from YouTube about losing some advanced was it features. I'm still kind of confused about what it is, but we're taking care of it right now, so whatever. What was I saying here? Yeah, so it was Athena who was really instrumental in getting me at least figuring out how to do this, how to talk to people, how to share stories, my stories, because I have a lot of stories from,
and he knows a lot of people,
and I know a lot of people, and it's not to name drop names or anything like that, but I do. Yeah, been playing music at this point now. Like I started when I was 13 years old, when I was playing drums with my good friend Martin Layfeld, who I just reconnected with, and he's live. He told me he was going to check it out. So, we got 3 people. Say hello, please.
Hi.
Yeah, and also hit the poll that I just put up here. And yeah. So anyway, so Martin, if you're out there, drop something in the comments. But he was the guy that one of my oldest friends from Wheeling when I first moved there in '87, and Wheeling, Illinois, northwest suburbs near Buffalo Grove, Arlington Heights. So not too far from Chicago, actually, maybe about an hour. So, 100%. We got a yes. Thank you. And y'all are shy right now. I'll keep talking. I'll just tell you my story right now. So when I moved to Wheeling in '87, I was 12 years old. We had grown up in Rogers Park, the north side of Chicago. So, was born a city guy, and all my people in Chicago, hello, shout out to you guys, north side, Rogers Park. And, we moved out to the burbs. It was a really hard adjustment, and as I found out from other people, it does take up at least a year when you move somewhere to kind of fit in and find your tribe, your niche. And I met Martin, and he was one of the first people. And I remember one of my first jobs I ever had was I forgot how I found it, but it was like basically like an agency that went out and collected subscriptions to the newspaper. The one was the Chicago Sun-Times, and basically we would get picked up in this van. Yeah, very creepy. And just now I'm thinking about it, like, it was
what was it, the 80s?
It was the late '80s, so we're talking
It was the 80s.
1987. So it was a husband and wife with this bratty girl, our daughter, who was like, yeah, didn't like her at all. Right. And it's hard, people always say, oh, you don't seem like the kind of guy to hate, but I do. There's some people that, but Martin, who was working there, or he was also, so the husband and wife and the daughter would pick up all these kids to go and collect subscriptions in all different parts of, different towns. Sometimes we go like an hour south or an hour north to like a community, and they would drop us off. And we had to go get we'd have to collect subscriptions. I barely got paid from the whole job, but anyway, so the one benefit from that job was I met this kid Martin. Well, he was like 2 years older than me, but blonde haired guy. He had kind of longish hair, and he had a Walkman. And I'm like, hey, what are you listening to? And he's like, oh, this Jimi Hendrix Smash Hits on cassette. And I'm like, oh, I've been wanting to check out Hendrix, and that guy, so basically from that point on, we became friends, and it was like that was kind of the best part of the job, is like we could just hang out and talk music, and kind of learn about stuff and whatever. But and then I ended up quitting that. Well, he quit that job, and then I ended up quitting that job. And as Martin had been reminded me when we've been having these epic conversations that go on for like 2-3 hours. So, and yeah, he was saying like how, this is before cell phones too. Like I actually walked because I knew where he lived, because he lived just it was like a 15-minute walk from my house. So I knew where he lived. So I'm like, I really want to talk to this guy. I don't want to let him go. So I walked all the way to his house and just kind of showed up unannounced. Like, he was like, hey, what's up? And yeah, I'm like, hey, I'm not working that job anymore. And then, yeah, from then on, we palled around. And anyway, I had to share that little story. But yeah, he was the first guy that, so he was learning how to play guitar, and then I decided I wanted to play drums. And so we were playing together. And the thing about it was like, and I don't know how it is with musicians. Okay, now we're down to one. So we had 3 at one point, down to one. I mean, what's going on tonight? Friday night.
It's Friday night.
I mean, I could keep telling the story, but
yeah.
So anyway, so
that's how you met Martin. That's how you got into.
So that's
music.
how I got. Thank you. And so we were both like, I never felt, like for some people who are musicians or wanting to be musicians, there's always that fear of sounding, just playing crappy, and playing in front of people you've never met before, and just totally laying clams or just playing really bad. So but I never felt that with Martin. Like, he was learning, I was learning. We were, we could be, the worst musicians to each other, but at the same time, we were just basically training and practicing, and he went off on a whole different scene and trip as far as a musician, like as far as he went from guitar to like pedal steel, and now he's a organist, keyboardist.
Oh, wow. He
can read music, which I'm like jealous of anybody that can read music and understand it. So, but yeah, I guess, yeah, that's my musical journey as far as drumming goes, and I don't know. So what was the point about talking about? Oh yeah,
how you got into music,
just
and how you got this show started, and
that's right. Thank you, babe. Thank you, babe. I know. I'm like, it's okay. There's like nobody here to.
That's what I'm saying. Like, don't worry about.
We could do this over and over. So anyway, so in 2023, we decided we're going to start a new channel, and we had a hard time figuring out a name, and then of course I'm like, well, what do we call it as we go along with Angel? Here, let me show you. So there we go. So if there's any Monkees fans, you know exactly what that title is. And actually one person called it out.
I have it too.
And we got
wait, I can't.
Here, come here, pups.
Yeah,
oh, and this is Mochi, by the way.
Yeah. There we go.
Yeah. So we decided to call it as we go along with Angel. Our first shoot that we did, because I had wanted to do something kind of like Anthony Bourdain meets like Mr. Rogers, with a kind of like underground music twist to it. And then, obviously Chicago being kind of the central character in this whole show, because that's where well, I'm from, but technically we're all from the Chicagoland area. But yeah, Chicago proper. That's where I made my bones in the music biz, or whatever you want to call it. And so we knew we wanted to have like my friends to participate. We wanted to incorporate food as well, which I still want to do that at some point. But yeah,
it was just a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. And so the original premise of As We Go Along was it was going to be like a travel log where we go to friends' houses and we make a meal together and we talk, and then we eat the meal, and then afterwards we sit down and chat for like an hour or however long we think we need to talk, and just ask each other, or I always ask my guests, like, what are your first memories of us meeting, and like, what are your recipes for a long-lasting friendship, and what would you do, or if you were 8, what would you tell your 18-year-old self now? Real deep questions, Barbara Walter style. So, and we shot
a jam at the end,
jam at the end, which has been, oh my god. So that's one of these days. Well, I think the second episode. So the first episode I did was with my friend Alejandro Ojeda, who is not a musician, but he and I worked together at Plum Marketing. We would have really expansive conversations, and he's a really good chef. And I was like, what do you think about making a meal and listen to Trout Mask Replica by Captain Beefheart and his Magic Band? Like, kind of goofy premise, but it was a good way to start kind of getting the ball rolling. And then, well, the first thing we actually shot, so it was kind of, so the whole thing is kind of like out of sequence, but the very first thing we shot, and this was, and I remember this date clearly, it was June 21st, 2023. We decided to bring our camera and do like a test shot with my friend Joe Sappy, Sap the Filer. Shout out to you, who I've known for a long time, like pretty much since high school days. And then maybe 15 years later, I got lucky enough to play in a band with him, actually 2 bands, the Arthur Lane and Infotapes. So Arthur Lane is our kind of scuzzy, psychedelic blues, swampy punk. And then Infotapes was our alter ego band, which was punk rock, like hardcore punk alter egos.
A very awesome punk rock band.
Thank you. And we only played one show.
I was just going to say, I only played one show.
At Liars Club. Oh, we got 3 in here. What's up? I'm just telling my story. But yes. Hey. We got some critters here. So anyway, so we decided to shoot with Sappy, and Sappy has been very kind to me and to Athena, but just, to the channel. He's one of our early supporters.
Well, he was the first practice interview.
Yeah.
It just went perfect.
And it wasn't really an interview. It was more like we're
just chatting,
telling stories. I mean, I'd maybe ask him something, and actually that was where I remember asking, we were talking about McGregor's, which is, that venue has been popping up in a lot of our episodes.
First time getting drunk,
and getting ribbed by the band The Queers. Let's see. Dylan, hello. Thanks for shouting. Yeah, I wasn't sure if you were still there. Hey, you're in New Zealand, right? Anyway. So we did this chat, and that's our second episode. And that was a lot of fun, and he did like a chicken dish. But yeah, I mean, I just knew that we were onto something good when Athena was like, "Oh my God, that was perfect!" Like, and the thing about Athena is she is like my barometer for if it's if she likes it, then I know I'm in a good place here. So yeah, New Zealand, way down at the bottom of the world. Yeah, I'd love to go visit New Zealand one of these days. I have some good friends there mostly from Wellington, but I have some folks in Auckland who are musicians. In particular, my friend Renee Louise Carafice. She's in the States now, but she's a New Zealander. The band Jacob, Meterman, Nick Abbott. I don't know. I'm just throwing some New Zealand names, but anywho, so I'm just. Oh yeah, Libretta Suede and the Motel 6, and those are the New Zealand people I know. But anyway, yeah. So it's been quite a ride. So yeah, so that was 2023 when we started. We had collaborators that kind of came and went, and then 2024 is when everything changed.
With fire sign chats or
my career.
Oh yeah.
So at the tail end of 2023, at the beginning of 2024, I was a preschool teacher aide, and nothing wrong with it. I mean, some of the kids were lovely, some of the kids not so much. It was a steady check. I mean,
hats off to anybody who works with children, especially young children.
Yeah. Oh, let's see. So Dylan says, I used to live in Wellington 25 years ago. Okay. Used to be a very cool punk scene there. That's what I hear. I love Libretta Suede. Okay. Yeah. The Libretta. And actually, if you go on the channel, there is so 2024, I had to quit my job as a preschool teacher to be a caretaker for my brother, our younger brother, and my mom. There were some medical concerns that happened, and lo and behold, I got access to a laptop, the one that we have here, and I basically kind of wrestled editing, took it on myself, learned a new skill, which I was like, oh, I've never edited before. I've always relied on other people's, just other people's talents and paying for it. And but then I'm really, it's kind of like the Wizard of Oz, where the good witch of the north is like, you've been able to go home all along. And I'm like, that's how
you could have edited all along.
I could have edited all along. And I'm like, oh, and so
I mean, we appreciate the editing, especially Alexis,
Yeah.
Thank you for everything you did. I mean, he has awesome editing skills too.
Yeah.
But, it's different when you have to rely on somebody else, and their schedule and
just to get things moving. And that was the struggle from 2023 until about 2024 was like getting things out. Like we had the ideas, we had the footage, but just to get it out. And and something that anybody who's a content maker knows, it's like ultimately it's your vision. I mean, obviously if there's somebody that you can work with, that you can trust, most importantly, I mean, that's the thing. Trust is like a big thing. But if it's not happening, or there's some things that are just like, videos are not coming out when you want them to be, people are just like, oh, and we were doing these other live streams on Facebook, and it was kind of like, after a while, we're like, it's kind of foolish that we're going on here and just being like, hey, this is what we're doing, and well, we have this, and we have this in the cards and everything, or this is in this is in limbo right now, basically, is what was happening. So I was able to get us out of limbo with the channel. And then one of the things that we shot, I think it was May of 2024, was we went to see my friends' bands. One of them is in a Velvet Underground tribute band called Another VU, and they were opening for a Bowie tribute band called Super Creeps. And I brought the camera. I'm like, well, maybe shoot something and see what happens. And let's see. Check out Von Toxic Bandcamp page. He has played on over 46 albums. Local New Plymouth punk legend. Bloody did an interview. Okay. I'll have to write that down. So yeah, so check out Von Toxic. Cool. So oh yeah, we got 7 people on here. Yay. Um Here, I'll just hit
Yeah,
that.
but with that one up, the first episode that you did.
So yeah, so we shot that at
Mhm.
Montrose Saloon, a really cool venue in the north side of Chicago.
Mhm.
And yeah, it was very spontaneous. Like there was no planning at all. We're just like, oh, we'll just point the camera and shoot some stuff. And then thankfully Athena had the foresight to take the camera from me and shoot me dancing, which and something about me, like when we go to shows, and especially if it's good music or if I'm like feeling it, I don't care. I'll start
Yeah,
dancing.
he really doesn't care. He
Yeah.
dances like
Yeah, I'm that guy.
watching.
I'm that guy.
But I mean, that's how it was back in the 90s. Like whenever I would see you at a show or something, I'm like, I got a dance partner.
Oh, and in case anyone was wondering, so Athena and I have known each other for a long time. We met through mutual friends, and I'm going to say about late '94, late 1995. I had just graduated from high school and got a job at Borders Books and Music, the late Borders Books and Music in wonderful Deerfield, Illinois, where I met 2 of Athena's mutual friends who had gotten we all had gotten jobs at the same time. I was in the music department. One was working in the book department. The other was in the cafe. So, and yeah, just got along. And I remember April saying, "Oh, I have a friend of mine that you should meet. I think you guys would get along." And it was her. And
I was told the same thing.
Right, yeah, and we, and I was like, "Oh, okay." And the first meeting was like it was friendly, but wasn't life shattering.
Yeah.
And I think it was maybe the second or third time when.
Well, it was once you said that you were a Monkees fan.
Mm-hmm.
Like I didn't know anybody else who liked the Monkees like I did.
Yeah.
I got made fun of a lot for liking the Monkees. So yeah.
Which is mind blowing. I'm like, come on, the Monkees are the greatest band. I mean they, yeah, of course they didn't play on all, they didn't play on all the records. I mean, their voices on there. They didn't write their own songs, but they're great songs. And Mike Nesmith, the late Mike Nesmith, is like the most underrated American composer in the 20th century.
It was the first show that I had ever seen like with a band,
Yeah.
Just like I mean they were goofy and but it's just like but they had a band and they were making music and
yeah,
they lived in this apartment together and got like into weird situations, but there was always like a music video.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really cool, and I wanted to be a monkey. I mean that's what got me wanting to start a band.
Yeah. Oh, and she was in a band in high school called the Silver Plate.
I mean,
Silver
Paisleys. I was,
yeah.
But it's nothing that ever really took off.
Let's see. Oh yes. So Dylan said, okay. Also check out Dick Dynamite and the Double Gangers. Nice. And the Cavemen. I think I've heard of the Cavemen. And he also says the Monkees are great. Rolling Stones are the greatest 60s band of all time. Hey. So well, I love the Stones too, don't get me wrong, and I know there's like this thing of like it has to be the Stones or it has to be the Beatles. I'm like, I think they both can coexist together. Oh, yeah, and in fact, like I mean in real life those 2 bands got along, they hung out. There's the story about how like anytime the Beatles were about to put out a record, they would get in touch with the Stones guys and say, hey, like, we want to put this record out. Is it gonna impede on your release? Which is very unheard of nowadays. Like, nobody gives a fuck about that. But back in the day, it was like, yeah, there was that wanting to coexist. But actually, the
Monkees are a real band.
Yeah, and like I said, I love the Beatles, but man, nothing like the Monkees. I mean the TV show. For Christ's sakes, that's the name of our channel.
Yeah. From
the great Monkees album and movie Head.
Mm-hmm.
So it just fits perfectly. So anyway, I'm all over the place right now, but I'm just trying to give you a little bit of the channel history. So yeah, so 2024, we figured out, hey, let's do on locations. And then it was and I'll share something. I'll share this with you. So after my last creative project on YouTube basically blew up, I'm like, and we used to do interviews, and I'm like, you know what? I don't want to do interviews anymore. Like, I don't want to do that, and I know that bummed out Athena.
Yeah, I was like, no way. You're not going to stop doing this. Yeah. Like, you're actually really good at this. And that other projects,
Yeah.
It's unfortunate that certain individuals who were involved couldn't,
Yeah. We're just, yeah.
Be
deceitful, evil.
Yeah. Well, no, we'll just be adults about, situation and, be decent friends or whatever.
Yeah.
Because it was a good thing. It was a good thing that was going. But, after that crumbled apart, just to see like you saying you don't want to do this anymore when I'm like, you were totally passionate about this and you were really good at it. And you have so much knowledge. You have, all these people that you're really good at connecting with people, which impresses me because like I'm completely antisocial. So if you couldn't tell, but,
I mean,
but it's I think it's a gift that you have, and I just felt like you were good at sharing that. I didn't want that to be the end of it because of how things went down with certain individuals. So. So I'm like, we still have to keep this up, and
I mean, it's
here we are,
and here we are,
300 subscribers,
300 and
humble
more.
number in the YouTube world, but means a lot to us.
Exactly. No, I mean, and I, and once I got over my not wanting to have conversations with people online, then just the floodgates open. So and trying to look at to see how much oh no, we're 302. Yay, thank you. I don't know if it's the bots that are messing with me, but
we get 2 and then we lose 1. We get 3 and then we lose 1. It's like,
I mean, I know a lot of content makers, so tell me, it's like, oh, don't worry about it. So let's see. Okay, I have to go for 5 minutes, but we'll jump back on live. But if you are still here, if I miss you, then get to catch you both live. Yeah, man. Yeah. Be safe out there. Yeah. We'll be here. I mean, we're just getting warmed up now. So
I'm just hanging out.
We're just hanging out. It's Friday. So I'm pulling up the there we go. So I mean, so since 2024, we've put out 15 on location videos. The Montrose Saloon Bowie one we did. Our friend Labreda Suede, we did an on location about her. We visited the Renaissance Fair. Lars, what's up, big dog? No, you're good. We we've been warming up. Warming up. So like the first 30 minutes is like I mean, there's some good moments. I think if you go back, there's some funny stories, but I'm just talking about what we produced since 2024. So yeah, we did an episode at the Renaissance Fair.
Oh yeah.
There's the evening at Grandma's house. There's the Baby Teeth show that we saw, the Wholesome Open House, which has a lot of karaoke. And Lars, this is where we did where I did the Spandau Ballet Only When You Leave version. Oh wait, so I was filming a scientific journal for Live Aid. She had a biting critique. Okay, I'm done. Oh yeah, so Lars Land, please check out their channel. I was really happy to have an episode out earlier this afternoon to play before the live stream, so I wasn't feeling like a dope. So thank you for being on the show, Lars. And so Lars Land, like I said, I'm going all over the place. Lars Land has a great channel. Started off doing TV movie reviews, and there's a 7+ hour lost episode, but primarily Lars does the Beatles and does it in a way that like gets me excited, that makes me love the band over again. let's see, get in there, Mochi. And I, when we first heard about Lars, like I was kind of mildly stalking their channel, because I just wanted to tell Lars, hey, like I think your channel is great. There's Mochi. So, and then I guess it took a while till we finally started to, where Lars was not like thinking I'm like a stalk, like a psycho or anything like that. But so, but anyway, I became a patron at the end of 2024, I think, and we just hit it off. And as Lars points out, yeah, we got obsessed with each other over text. I mean, it's hard not to, because Lars is a great person with just great commentary about things, and especially about the Beatles, but other stuff. But I'm very honored and happy to be collaborating with Lars on this Live Aid project, which is to be announced. I'm not going to give any, it's going to take a while, but I have a hand in some of the stuff. We chatted for about 3 hours talking about my experience, watching Live Aid, which, like I said, I have been obsessed with Live Aid since the day after Live Aid. Like after the event was all said and done, I'm like, I got obsessed and finding stuff, and it was one of those things over the years where like every 10 years there's the anniversary and you remember it, and each time it's like other things start to kind of come up. And for me, it was just like being able to see a lot of the performances on, when the DVD came out, and be like, oh, because there was, I didn't have cable. Our family, we didn't have cable, so we couldn't watch Live Aid as God intended it, which would have been MTV, or even like, well, if I had a satellite dish. Yeah, it is weirdly addictive. I mean, I guess. Well, there's definitely like my childhood, our childhood nostalgia that gets mixed in with that. But then, knowing that that I witnessed that happening in real time or whatever, even if it was delayed, but it was like happening that day. And and I've met people along the way who are either as obsessed with me about it or are not, but then they become obsessed. So like, I guess like my friend Sarah Palmer, which is another, so that was, another thing I do, that we do on our channel, is fireside chats, where I interview. Well, it's more like not even interviewing, it's just chatting and asking questions, but also just letting, allowing, my guests to basically talk, and, be in a very comfortable space to talk about things. And I did a fireside chat with my old neighbor, Sarah Palmer, about Live Aid, because she has her own memories of it as well. I mean, I think she was what, 5 or 6 years old. Yeah, she's like 6 years older than me, because I think she was 16 in 85. But yeah, thank you for saying that, Lars. Yeah, I mean, the chat wasn't as definitive as anything else, but I think, I think the Live Aid story is something that, every person has a different story about it, or, whether they were there, whether they're at home, whether they were part of the organization. I mean, it's just, yeah, it's like there's so many layers to the story, and I'm glad that kind of gave you a little perspective of what that was all about. But anyway, so long story short, the anniversary happens. That was July 15th, and it was the 40th. The Live Aid YouTube channel had posted a 10-part Live Aid, like basically in hour chunks. And there was a lot more performances that I didn't remember seeing in the DVD. So we just started it, and I remember texting with Lars about it, and be like, oh my God, like, Live Aid. And I don't know what exactly I said, but I think the thing that I remember, it was somewhere that I saw online, was how it was being compared to Concert for Bangladesh. And I kept on hearing that. What does that say? I was shish. I get it. Shish. Shish. So yeah, exactly. I was just like, then like 3 days later it was, oh yeah. I'm like, okay, sorry. Yeah. And so that's kind of, long story short, that's how Lars jumped on this Live Aid project and asked me to collaborate, which I'm, like I said, I'm very honored because I mean, not only is she a good friend of ours, but also I'm probably her biggest fan. So, John Stockfish, howdy, man. Thanks for jumping on, ladies and gentlemen. John Stockfish, aka Johnny Personality, who is one of my guests on the Fireside Chat. Actually, it was a part 1 and 2. But John, I've known since I was in high school because he played bass in one of my favorite bands in Chicago called the Vindictives. And that's an interesting story of, in my musical trajectory, because I, started off as a super fan and then became a member of the band for, it was about a brief time. It was at least over a year, but I mean, we did a lot of stuff in a year, and I got to be on the only full-length Vindictives album in the discography called Hypnopunko. It's on there streaming. Very proud of the work we did on it. It was a lot of work, blood, sweat, and tears. But what can you do? As Lars says, and we will never fully recover from this. Yes, I mean, even though like the anniversary or the actual anniversary is passed, and I'm not inundating Athena with Live Aid facts or video clips, but it'll come up occasionally. And I know Lars, that you're it's always Live Aid right now at your house, right? But anyway, yeah. So I've been really happy with how the channel has been going since I basically took control of the editing and what
the
we're doing.
Fireside Chats really are the ones that I mean, it was fun doing all the other ones. It just took a lot of work, and these are easier to get out. And you also reconnected with some people that you hadn't talked to in a while. So
no, I mean, obviously John, who's in the comments here, I reconnected with him. Let's see, Anthony Alardi, who's an amazing drummer, and he was my first Fireside guest. And actually, there's a funny story about that, because there is so I taped the first interview with Anthony. So we did a first chat. It went pretty good. I mean, I was still kind of nervous doing it, and then after we were done, we were on for like 2 hours. And then Anthony like messages me back. It's like, hey, you didn't ask me about drums, which, and the thing is, he's an amazing drummer. He's played with
2 drummers, and they didn't even talk about.
I mean, we barely talked about drumming, other than like, so Anthony, he was the original drummer in Rights of the Accused, great Chicago early 80s hardcore band, and then ended up playing in one of my all-time favorite bands, and I don't want to grab the record right now, but check out the Chamber Strings, in particular A Month of Sundays, which it's supposed to get reissued, but there's a record that came out before Gospel Mornings, and we mainly talked about the Chamber Strings as well, because it's just one of those great bands. But anyway, so Anthony was like, hey man, like you didn't ask me about drums, and I'm like I'm like, okay. I'm like, well, do you want to do another one? And he was very gracious, and we did another episode. And the thing is, I have to go back to that first one, because there's a lot of different questions on that one than the first one. I mean, there's some repeats, but it's almost a different conversation. So maybe down the road, I might revisit that one and just do like a cut it up. I don't know. But anyway, so like I said, I mean, I'm not a pro at any of this, but it's fun. Let's see. Hey, Dylan is back, folks. Dylan Guttersnipe. Now,
Oh, happy birthday.
Oh, shoot.
It is my okay. So I had to jump back on, but I have to go. It is my daughter's 22nd birthday today, and she is on her way over. You both take care. Peace. Wow. So wait, how old are you? I think of you as a young man. I mean, you don't have to answer that question, but man, 22. Congrats. Have fun, man. Thanks for jumping on.
Yeah, thanks.
And let's see. Oh, Eric. As an old local guy, I think fireside chats are great. Thank you.
Yay.
Thank you. I agree. I mean, I think so. Okay, here's my little rant about like I mean, there's some really good podcasters. The thing that what I always thought about the fireside chats were like kind of how old talk shows used to be. Like my favorite, of course, is Dick Cavett. I love Dick Cavett. I love his style. I mean, he's not gonna, he's not gonna throw like, or he's not gonna try to catch you on a aha moment or anything like that. But he gets his guests comfortable, gets them laughing. Yeah, that's right. Yoko sat in that chair, and I just always like that style, just the conversation, and then especially with like the late night talk show hosts, like Jimmy, what's his name? Jimmy Fallon. Yeah. Terrible interview style. He's the worst. And I know there's a lot of stuff about him now, but I've never liked his style. And I always thought like, doing all these kind of like silly stunts and, it's like, I don't want to see stunts. I want to find out about people. I mean, Howard Stern, I know like another problematic guy, but he's also like, I like his interview style as far as, just getting people comfortable. And I'm not saying like I'm trying to emulate Howard at all, but the guy that I really I'm inspired by as far as, chatting is Mark Maron. And he just did his last show last week, but I remember listening to the WTF podcast and be like, whoa, like, and just, liking just his approach, and he's funny as hell. And then of course the guests he would have, and the fact that it was never like the show is not like this Q&A thing. I mean, he might ask you some questions, but in general, it's like a conversation, and it's just I've always liked that style more than anything, and I feel like I'm getting better with it as age. But and in fact, as far as like the fireside chats that I'm, besides Lars is the one that we did that I'm most proud of, but my biggest coup that I was able to, or the best guess I was able to find in the beginning of these fireside chats was this guy, Mr. Bloody F Mess. From Peoria, who's now in Oregon, and he has a YouTube channel out. Check it out, Bloody F Mess Official. I was hoping he would come on to join in the chats, but he is he's busy. He is working, and he gives our best. So let me see. He's a really funny pro and meets people exactly where they are. Cavett is the gold standard, platinum standard. Yeah, agree, Dylan. Was Dick Cavett who interviewed Tiny Tim back in the 60s? I think so. My favorite interview of Dick Cavett, well, not so much that a lot of good came out, but just
Sly Stone.
The Sly Stone, the one where he's whacked out of his mind, but he's really funny, and you could tell that Dick Cavett is kind of afraid, but he allows. I'm thinking about the two stars of the movie Zabriskie Point.
That was awkward.
That was very awkward. And when you had Dick Cavett, Gore Vidal, or no, who was it? Rex Reed, who had written that book. Oh my God, Rex Reed. Can't look it up right now. And Mel Brooks, and they're trying to interview the male female stars of Zabriskie Point, and of course they talk about the cult that they belong to. So anyway, but yeah, so back to Bloody. So his channel is amazing. I started started checking out his channel kind of around the same time that we started this channel, and I think the first episode of his that I checked out was his interview, or he was telling the story about playing in Chicago in like the early 80s with Rights of the Accused, with Anthony Ilardi. My other friend Barry's band Necros were headlining, and then Bloody was in a band called Chips Patrol with the infamous Steppy Brothers, and he tells a story about taking a Greyhound from Peoria to play the show, and all madness ensues. And I mean, obviously it caught my attention because I knew a couple of guys that were involved in the story. And then I started checking out more. And then, of course, Bloody's known for his music and his writings. And he also has a radio show called The Church of Rock. But what most people know him through is association and sometime collaborator, Gigi Allen. The infamous, legendary Gigi Allen. So obviously that's where a lot of people come to visit his channel. But and I'm like, it was one of those things where I'm like, I started engaging with Bloody, and then next thing you know, I sent him a message. I'm like, hey, like, would you want to do a chat with me for the channel? And he, without hesitation, is like, yeah, let's do it now. I'm like, well, how about we do it next week? Because I don't know. Sometimes when I ask somebody, I'm kind of expecting them to like, hey, maybe in like 2-3 weeks, that'll give me some time. But Bloody was like, no, let's do it now. And I'm like, well, how about next week? And I think he said something like, let's do it now because I don't know if I'm going to be alive tomorrow. So I'm like, all right, that's now it's urgent. So, and that first chat that we had was hilarious. Give me a minute to not be terrified. Oh, yeah. Dylan says, on Bloody's and Tracy's Church of Rock channel, check out the interview with Nigel Toxic. I helped get that interview. Okay, cool. So, yeah, so the Church of Rock is he's been doing this radio show for 25 years. The anniversary is coming up on Halloween. That's when it started. And he plays like lots of cool rock, metal, blues, punk rock. And then he'll do interviews. And Bloody is also an amazing interviewer. Mm-hmm. He's if you go on his Church of Rock channel, there's interviews with Tiny Tim, actually 2. There's an interview with Davy Jones from the Monkees, Barry Williams from the Brady Bunch, lots of punk rockers. I know we got a number of this, at least 2 of the Stooges, not the 3 Stooges, but Ron and Scott Ashton. I think, yeah, he interviewed those guys. I could be wrong.
He's even a good interviewee.
Yeah, like, let me get ready for the interview. I call people to set up interviews, and I'm like always like, so I know we're on the phone now, but can we get on the phone later? Yeah. No, I mean, you don't understand how much it takes out of me sometimes doing these chats, and like, I don't know how people do it. I mean, I guess, as Lara's can attest, it gets exhausting just talking to people, but thankfully, like,
which that's hard to imagine because you love to talk.
I mean, I do, but I there's, I'm still trying to get to not necessarily greatness, but like just trying to get to
just improving
my craft, and so exactly. You have to be on. I mean,
well, that's like teaching.
Yeah, exactly.
that's why I'm exhausted at the end of every day.
Yeah, and it's an organized chat too. Yeah, I mean, I do have kind of like a set list or just like things that I'm going to ask, but I do just like to let the conversation, go where it goes, and with the Lars video that we did, that I put out, which is out. If you haven't checked it out, please check it out. Yeah, teachers are heroes. We're just yappers. I mean, even when she's not teaching, she's still teaching me. Like, she showed me this amazing slideshow that she put together to teach some of her kids who have hard time grasping things. And I'm like, oh, wow. Like, I learned, I feel like I learned something new with this woman. So,
thanks, man.
Yeah. So as Laura says, as we said in our chat, like, I don't know how we landed these people. So, but anyway, so yeah, she is great. She's great. So
you too.
Yeah, no, thank you again, Lars, for all your help. If I haven't stressed enough that, so I guess I have a few, well, definitely upcoming shows I got in the works for so we've been doing a lot of fireside chats, which has been great. I recorded one with the Gen X Muse, aka Chris McGovern, who Lars hooked me up with, and they're really special, wonderful. We had a great chat, actually, and you go check out Gen X Muse, and I think they're supposed to be on. I know Chris knows that this is happening right now, so he could be, or they could be fashionably late, you know. So that's going to be in the works. I recorded a chat with my old friend Brian Zarnick, who's an amazing drummer. He was one of the early drummers in the Boll Weevils, another great Chicago punk band. Oblivion, the late great Oblivion. And now he's in a group called Space Age Zeros with some mutual friends of mine. And really looking forward for you guys to check that one out, because and Brian also has a channel on YouTube called Brian's Fun Place, which he does a lot of concert reviews, tells stories about, you know, his days of touring in punk bands. And I was checking out his the episodes he did about the first 2 Lollapaloozas that he went to. Well, he went to the first 3, but I only got to the first 2. So there's some cool stuff in there. And then I secured a chat with the great Scott Parker, Scott Parker has a 2 podcasts, the Zappacast, which is a whole podcast about Frank Zappa. He gets a lot of really cool guests, like people who have either worked with him as musicians or people that write about Zappa. But now he's part of the Zappa family trust. So his podcast is now like officially sanctioned by the Zappa family, which is cool. And then there's a Woodstock podcast, which I think it's called Keep the Dream Flowing, or Keep the Garden Flowing, Keep the Dream Flowing. I'm sorry, Scott. It's the Woodstock podcast. It's not Woodstock 99 or Podcast 99, which that is a fun one to get into. It's a little gross, so with that coming up, you know, I don't want to jinx too much. There's a few guests that I'm working on getting booked, but I don't want to, you know, spoil the surprise until later. But it's going to be exciting. I'm telling you, the rest of 2025, as shitty as most of it has been, one thing you can count on that as we go along with Angel Channel is it's going to be, you know, it'll keep you entertained, keep you happy. It might take an hour out of your life, but you'll get back so much knowledge. I don't know. But I want to give a big thank you to all 302 subscribers that are here. Thank you. Should I run down all the names of the people that subscribe to our channel?
That's gonna be a lot of people.
Yeah,
we might lose.
We might lose people's attention. I mean, we're almost at an hour. Okay. Well, I definitely want to thank Bloody F Mess, who can't be here, but Bloody, you were one of my earlier guests. You helped me. You spread the word about our chats, the episodes we've done together. You've helped me get subscribers, so thank you. In particular, Dylan Guttersnipe. If it wasn't for Bloody, he would not be in our orbit. So thank you. And then let's see. Also, I want to thank Lars. I'm just going to keep thanking you. Not only have you been like for your channel, but also just all the advice that you've given us as far as getting this, you know, just things like, you know, not that you're telling us what to do, but just like things that you've experienced as a YouTube content maker. And
a lot of times I'll even tell you, like, we get stuck in a snafu or something technical, like I'm like, well, ask Lars what you would do.
I know, yeah, exactly. like you know, like the weird message that I got from YouTube, which you know, like I said, I'm like, I don't know what I did. I mean, I mean, I know there's a lot of cussing on this channel, so, but you know, compared to all the other grime that's on there, you know, and Lord knows I go through some dark places on YouTube, but you know, we're kind of squeaky clean. So, so thank you, Lars. I want to thank all the guests that have been on the Firesign chats. And here's the thing about this Firesign chat. So obviously, like, the main emphasis has been like people that I've known from the music scene. And those have been really amazing to record and collect, because like a lot of these people that I've talked to have most of them have never sat down for an interview or shared their story, because all of us have stories. And and instead of waiting for somebody to be like, give us the chance to like tell our stories, it's like, well, in my own way, I want to try to tell or help people tell their stories
and memorialize all this, because a lot of people didn't experience the punk rock scene, especially in the 80s, 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of us know these stories ourselves, but they're not in a book. They're not, some of them are not in. I mean, thankfully there's more people that are finally like getting some of these stories out. Like Brian's Fun Place or Bloody F Mess's channel, like, so there seems to be a movement of it, but and I'll say, like, there's not a lot of channels that have people that look like me. Although this light it's kind of giving me a pale glow. I'm actually pretty brown, and I feel like there's enough, like, fair skinned YouTube content makers out there. No offense to any fair skinned people out there, but
yeah, thanks.
There needs to be but as far as the Latino representation, because I'm Mexican, she's Puerto Rican, and we like rock and roll, we like punk rock, we like weird stuff, so here's our chance to take to be another voice in this wilderness. And there's so many YouTube music channels, every ding dong has one, but I feel like this channel has a mission as far as like memorializing people's stories, sharing people's stories, and then spotlighting the city and like all the culture that has to offer. It's because there's, I mean, not that we go out every single night, but when we go out to something, it's like, it's exciting. And I want to, I always feel like, man, like I try not to take for granted anything that's happening, like music or, culture. And actually Monday I celebrated my 9th year of being booze free. And so how did we celebrate? We went to the Rainbow.
We went to a bar,
but it wasn't just to go hang out and drink. I did not drink, by the way.
We're not drinkers.
Yeah, it was to see some friends play. Fax from Chicago, that's FACS. They were amazing. And then 5 a.m. Sky, who I guess they're also known as Mute Duo, but it's a 2-piece, drums and pedal steel. And then my friends Kinsella and Pulse, or Tim Kinsella, Jenny Pulse, and their group. Hey, Pops. Sorry, Moji once again. But it was great, and we shot some stuff. I'll definitely make something out of it at some point, even though we had horrible. It's not the best place to see a show, but just being there and just realizing, like, hey, man, this is, and it was cool to see other people that I've known for many years that would hang out the Rainbow, and we're all like getting older, but it's cool.
The last few shows I feel like have been kind of like reunions.
Yeah.
For you.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the one over the summer to see Captain Jazz. Oh, we have a guest. So let's see. There's really nothing. Okay. And I sent like 12 texts in a row. It's okay, Lars. You're good. There's really nothing like local scenes, and the stories are great. Thank you.
Agreed.
Yeah. No, there's more to come. So you have a place here and should take up space. Yes. So that's what we're doing. So we're taking up a lot of space. But anyway, I'm just super thrilled to for the rest of the year into next year. And I just hope, we get more subscribers on the road. So, all right. Well, anyway, I did ask Athena, I'm going to segue into the next thing. I asked Athena if there's any questions she wanted to ask me. So and if there's any questions you wanted to ask me, please put on the chat. But,
well, you already kind of answered one of them, which was what was your inspiration for this show, but we talked about that already.
Oh yeah,
what has been the most challenging aspects of doing as we go along?
Time.
Yeah.
Time has been a big problem. So my job as a caretaker, even though, technically I do a lot of my editing when I'm caretaking for my folks, because there's a lot of downtime, which explains sometimes when I send you messages or when I send Lars messages, and like, because there's a lot of downtime. But I would say this past summer was very challenging for me, like as far as like, just feeling inspired or just having the energy to do anything. I know it was like a really hot summer. That shouldn't be an excuse, but it was still like, I mean, for example, I had Lars's and my friend Johnny's chats that I recorded sitting in the can for months. And it's not, not because I didn't want to do it. I just couldn't do it. I was just like, I don't know what it was. It was just like this. Yeah. I think from like June to like, I don't know, into August, where I'm just like, so
mental blocks.
Little mental blocks there. Oh, there he is. There he goes, Martin Layfelt, ladies and gentlemen. You missed it. I was just telling the story of how we first met. So anyway, so yeah, so I would say time. I mean, I know, like, and you've given me the okay about like if I have to work late sometimes, but it's just, once I get home, it's like I want to just relax with my lady and do stuff. But I mean, I'm going to work on that. But I think that's always just the challenge is time, and sometimes technical snafus. Like
that's what I was thinking too.
When we run,
just like
remote, yeah,
editing, and that's time consuming as well.
Yeah.
So those are the most challenging. What has been the most rewarding experiences with the channel?
I think just especially when I'm doing fireside chats, and a number of the guests that have been on the show, some of them don't feel comfortable have never felt comfortable being in front of a camera. So yeah, but I guess it's something about my personality that makes people feel comfortable wanting to talk. I mean, I'm not trying too hard. I'm just being who I am, and it's like, and I could feel and I could sense that sometimes when I'm talking to people, like, okay, like, I mean, most of the time I'm not like trying to, get a word in edgewise. I'm like, I just want to let whoever's talking talk, because this is probably the one time that they finally get to talk without getting interrupted. Yeah, I don't know.
No, that's definitely a quality of yours where people feel comfortable talking to you. And
I want to listen and take it in, and so, oh yeah, I'll bring back this. I'll tell the story again, Martin, in a little bit. So,
then I would say, where do you hope as we go along we'll be at in like 3 more years? Because this is what, the 3-year anniversary?
It's the
2-year anniversary. So 2 more years. Where do you see the channel in 2 more years, or what do you hope the channel be in 2 more years?
More subscribers for sure, but also I guess having, still maintaining like the people that I want to talk to, but then also people that I never would have thought I would ever get to talk to. Like, I'm not talking like superstars, but just like people like, I don't know, trying to think of somebody that would be like, who I'd be really like.
Mark Maron.
Yeah,
I mean, he's a superstar.
I would love to talk with Mark Maron. Yeah. Or, it's funny because like, when we're doing the fireside chats, I think I guess the people that I've been talking to are people that I already kind of have a relationship with, or, so it's kind of easy for me. Like, but, at the same time, I know at some point, like, there's going to be people that I wish I could talk to that I would love to have on. So, all right. Sorry, Martin. I gotta, let's see. I'm going to remove that. Yeah, we're not. Yeah, please don't bring up that guy into the chats. Peace and love. Peace and love. So what I was saying, yeah. So, but yeah, definitely getting to talk with more people that I never thought I would talk to. Being able to travel, I think that's something that I've always envisioned this channel being like where we go somewhere else that we've never been to. Now we did put out a episode from our from our Boston trip last year, which I still have more footage from that.
Yeah.
I need to.
We got to go back there.
Yeah, I would love to go back. So, so yeah, and then the other benefit would be being able to get into shows for free and offering to shoot
and comfortable places to sit where we could actually see the artists and not be standing for long periods of time.
Yeah.
Get the elderly people seats.
Getting some kind of VIP treatment, I guess, like being, because I know there's a lot of, there's people who have YouTube music channels that get to go to like Riot Fest, or they get to go to these like festivals and get to hang out VIP and whatnot. So, but yeah, just having more, having more people along for the ride, and spotlighting not only my friends but people that I've never met before. Getting more younger musicians. In fact,
there he is.
Here's Lucy.
Lucille Ball.
Yeah,
wants to be in the show. Ladies
and gentlemen, Mittens, who's been the star in several fireside chats, including the Johnny Personality, and then what was the last? Oh, the actually when I was chatting with the Gen X Muse. This cat was trying to get into the shots all the time. So so that's Mittens.
Mr. Casanova wants to make out.
So anyway, oh my God. Yeah, there you go. This is Mittens. Actually, we came up with the whole thing of Mittens being like Lucille Ball. I Love Lucy, trying to get into Ricky Ricardo's show all the time. Look at her proper little face here. Show this face here. Right. There you go. Hi. So, anyway, does that answer your question, or? Because I'm saying, just more growth and just more guests and being able to get into shows for free, and maybe down the road getting a house out of it. I don't know. I mean,
that would be nice.
Yeah,
they could actually have a place where friends can come and visit.
Yeah.
Or they're staying in from out of town.
Yeah. And then we could do a jam, so.
And have a percussion room.
Yeah. So, but I think that's all the questions you got for me.
Yeah. That was it, because the other ones you kind of already talked about.
Oh yeah. And I did answer the question about like what are our first memories of meeting each other.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, before we wrap it up, I wanted to do an unboxing since Martin. Well, before I do the unboxing, so Martin, I just want to, since you're here, Lars, I think there's 5 people here. I'm going to tell them.
I'm just looking at our last comment.
Yeah, doing the forehead ritual. Yes. Well, before we do the unboxing, so my friend Martin, who's in the chats right here, Lars. So Martin and I, we've known each other a long time. In fact, when I first moved to Wheeling in 1987, I got a job collecting newspaper subscriptions for the Sun-Times, which was a total like horrible job. And we were getting picked up by this married couple and their daughter in a van, which already kind of creepy. And but the positive out of that job was I got to meet Martin, who is, and we're like he's a couple years older than me, but he was this lanky kid, blonde hair, and he had a Walkman. And I said, "What are you listening in your Walkman?" And he said, "Jimi Hendrix." And I said, "Oh, I've always wanted to check out Jimi Hendrix." So he let me listen to it. And I'm like, "Oh, holy shit, this is amazing." I mean, I kind of knew a little bit of Hendrix, like "Are You Experienced?" I remember hearing that. And that kind of blew me away with all the backwards, just like the backwards tape on that song. And so I was already I kind of knew about him, but then I really heard him. And I think Martin loaned me a copy of the Are You Experienced on cassette, or he might've made me a copy. I forget, but, and then we both ended up quitting that job. I think he quit first and then I quit after. And I'm like, but I really want to, and the thing about that job that made it cool was I got to hang out with Martin and we got to talk, get to know each other. And then he ended up quitting, and then I quit soon after, but I knew where he lived because we would get dropped off. He got dropped off first and I would get dropped off last. And then I just decided, well, heck, I'm going to just walk over to his house because it's not too far, unannounced. I don't have his number. And I showed up and there he was. And we hung out a lot throughout those years. So, and, we lost touch sometime in the 90s, and he was one of those guys that I'm like I would try to look for him, a couple times a year. There's a few friends that I still try to look out for, or try to look for who are like recluse or not online or don't live on in the internet. So you got busy. That's I mean, as you've told me, and it, I think maybe about a month ago, Martin sent me an email. Somehow he found me, even though I've been trying to find him for ages. And I just, it was like I gave up. I'm like, I'm never gonna see this guy or talk to this guy ever again. And he found me, and that was 3 weeks ago, almost a month ago. And I mean, next to Lars, Martin and I are constantly talking. We get into these 2-3 hour long phone conversations, and I, and the thing is, like, they're constantly, all these conversations are always illuminating, and I'm learning stuff. But I'm like, I need to get some stuff done. And actually, I've been helping Martin with making some videos for his channel, because he's a phenomenal musician. So the other thing too is Martin and I were both learning our respective instruments. So Martin was learning how to play guitar. I was learning how to play drums. And we were both like not the greatest musicians at the beginning, but we weren't embarrassed to basically play like crap to each other. And we just got better and better as time went on. And then finally,
that was like Jenny and me.
Yeah, exactly. See, my style is 15 texts in a row. That's my 3-hour phone call. I know, and then sometimes I'm the one that's leaving 15 texts in a row, and then you're like, I'm busy. It's like, I'll catch up with you. But anyway, but yeah. Oh, well, thank you. I mean, you too. I think that's the thing. We were both learning, but we had that sense of like, okay, like we're striving for something really good, and like I said, we're not afraid to be vulnerable musically with each other, because like, you're not that great, I'm not that great either, but together we could be a little bit better, and each time we got better and better. And then I went my way playing drums, playing in punk bands. Martin went his way, playing guitar, pedal steel. He's the keyboardist. Motherfucker can read music. I mean, very talented. I don't know if you want to check out his channel, because he's got some musical pieces, but I'm helping him, give his stuff a little visual, zing, if you will, some zest to it. So, but anyway, that's the Jose. Oh my God. My internet was off, but now I'm here. Angel, the man himself. Happy Friday. All right. Man, we got the superstars. Oh, first gig. What was happening at the first? Wait, our first gig? So Jose runs an amazing channel on YouTube, JCM, Led Zeppelin Stories and More. Oh yeah, Shades. But yeah, Jose, check out his channel. I got really into your channel, Jose, from the In Through the Outdoor series, which that dude owns, I think he owns 67, 68. Yeah, you're going to correct me, but at least 68 copies of In Through the Outdoors. Because, so the thing about that record, which was the last Led Zeppelin album that came out, in their lifetime, there was different cover variants. So each cover had a different, and it was a picture of this bar, and I forget the name of the bar in New Orleans, but it's supposed to be like different. It wasn't that documentary on hypnosis, where it's like different vantage points it's basically a scene somewhere in a bar in New Orleans.
Okay.
Let's see the cover variants and versions, but some degenerates. Oh, but some degenerates. Now 69. 69. But so anyway, yeah, so Jose, did this series, and I remember saying something like that. You wanted to do this documentary because there was nobody that was doing a documentary on this specific record, and it's a very it's a obviously Zeppelin didn't know that it was going to be the end for them, but they were doing this record, and it was going to carry them, or at least carry them on into the next decade, which is the 1980s. Oh man, thank you. You as well, man. Thank you. And so I got really into his In Through the Outdoor series. He's also a phenomenal musician. He's an excellent guitarist. He hasn't done any live streams in a while, but he does these he'll do a live stream where he'll just play his guitar. Pizza and partner are here. Gotta go. All right, Lars. Thanks for joining us.
Bye.
Thank you again. We'll be in touch soon. Anyways, check out Lars Land. They're working on a Live Aid video. We'll do a music collab. I can feel it, but no. So that's the other thing. Jose has a problem with Meatloaf. Honestly, I'm with you, brother.
Same.
I mean, okay. So as far as with Meatloaf, the one thing that I guess amongst Rocky Horror Picture Show fans, he's kind of accepted, minus the B.
Well, because she had to be at the
end. Gotcha. So how I know Meatloaf is because I had friends who were into Rocky Horror Picture Show, who he's in there. He plays the I forget Riff Raff's boyfriend, the one with the the one that's kind of like Frankenstein.
Yeah.
So, and he's cool in that. I like his performance in the movie, but then I don't know. And I know that Todd Rundgren had something to do with the Bat Out of Hell record. And I love Todd Rundgren, and I know he, I think he kind of believed in it or whatever, and actually invested money or something like that. But it's one of those weird records that has sold millions of copies, but it's I could never hang with him. I never, and the album covers too. And I mean, the album cover, it's very misleading because it looks like a really heavy metal record, but it's not really heavy metal. Okay. So Jose asked, okay. So just Bad Out of Hell. I do like his other albums. Oh, interesting. Okay. Sorry to ask, Angel, who's sitting next to you? Hi. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, you just got in late, but so this is my lovely partner, the love of my life, and the executive producer, camera person for As We Go Along with Angel channel. This channel would not be what it is now if it wasn't for her and her support and her love and her guidance, and she's a good barometer for me as far as like when I'm doing something with the channel and she's like, I don't know about that, or no, that's really funny. So
I'm behind the scenes.
Yeah, no, she's a part of this family, and this channel is hers as much as it's mine. So let's see. And then of course right over here is Mittens, or as we like to call him, Lucy.
Ball.
Don't want to be rude and don't say hi. No, you're all good. Hi, it's Gen X Muse, folks, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my God, all the superstars are here. Hey, I introduced you guys to my lady one day. She has the same role. Oh, excellent.
Oh, nice.
Well, I think I just from a little bit from the channel, Jose, that you mentioned your partner, your girlfriend, so that's cool. Yeah, I mean, it's not even like about behind every great man is a great woman, but it's more like besides a man, there's a great woman besides me, in front of me, around me. Let's see. One of her frequent roles are my musician meltdowns when I question my musical path and career. I've been there, brother. I mean, well, the thing about me in my life as a musician in Chicago, doing this for about 30 years, is that I never got into it for money. I mean, and I think that's where punk rock really came in, because it showed me that it's not, at the end of the day, it's not about trying to, be famous or have a ton of money in the bank. It starts to become like, about just having musical integrity and playing music from the heart and being like straight up about it, and treating music, yeah, it's fun and it's great, but it takes a lot of hard work, and and if you're doing it because you're expecting a reward at the end, then you're going to be greatly disappointed. But
it's a labor of love.
Yeah, but if you're doing it and it makes your heart feel good, and there's days when I don't feel like playing music, or I mean, there's been a couple of times when I felt like I just wanted to retire and just be like, I'm done, I don't want to deal with music anymore. But Lars is back too. Is she back? Or are they back? Sorry. Yeah. Chris, I would like you to meet Jose, Chris. So Chris hosts an amazing podcast on Spotify called the Gen X Muse. And the Gen X Muse does lots of breakdowns on albums, particularly your breakdowns on those 3 Boston records. And of course, Chris talks about the first show that they ever went to, which was Boston at Giant Stadium, 1979, which is still mind blowing. And you can see that performance on YouTube. Check it out. Who got moody? Oh yeah. Well, Lars was here anyway. Yeah, no, yeah. Lars skipped out. We passionate musicians are good boyfriends because we see what others don't. Love in the middle of sometimes nothing. Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry if that put you in a mood or anything like that, but I'm glad that you're at least, still playing, and I'm really looking forward to talking to you at some point, whether it's for the channel or whether just the two of us. I mean, hopefully for the channel at some point. So you just let me know. I greatly appreciate. I mean, yeah. So anyway, so the Gen X Muse. I'm going to be a guest at some point. Actually, I recorded an episode with Chris last Sunday, which I'm working on editing this week to have out by next week. So please stay tuned. But go on Spotify. The Gen X Muse is the only reason why I went back to Spotify, or at least reactivating my account, because that's right now the only place. Oh, can I get some more coffee?
I'm gonna pour some from my cup because it's.
Oh, is that all we got? Oh, we're down to coffee. And I'm on his first show. We will have to talk much. I want to ask you and hear your. Yeah, I mean, I can tell you a lot of things. Or like I said, on the channel, there's plenty of interviews with musicians from Chicago. Thank you, babe.
You're welcome.
Who alongside me played a lot of shows whether locally or when we did tours. Which, Jose, did you ever do any tours? Have you gone on tour? I know Gen X Muse did a little touring. Anyway, but yeah, it's rough living, but anyway, so with the Gen X Muse Spotify, I've been listening to a lot of episodes. Actually, I just listened to your episode on the Rumble Link Ray single, which Chris does solo discussions, but has had guests like Lars Land has been on Chris's show. Abigail DeVoe has been on there, and I think Scott Parker's been on the show. So, and I'm happy that I'm going to be probably the first person that I'm going to be Chris's first time on a podcast. So hopefully that means more, because we had a really nice talk, and it was introductory, which you're just starting to get to know somebody, and then but we're going to do a part 2 at some point, so that'll be worth looking forward to. Let's see. The only touring I've done was commuting to corporate jobs long. Oh yeah. I mean, that's probably not as different as when I would commute from jobs, being stuck in traffic for like over an hour or sometimes 2 hours. Okay. So correction. Yeah. So Gen X Muse has been on other podcasts, but not as the Gen X Muse. So, but let me share a fun story. Yeah, please share, if I may. Yes, please share, Jose. So this is great. I was hoping that we would get a little bit of chatter. Okay. So I went to Pittsburgh, PA in 2019, corporate travel. That's your tour. That's your fun story. Wait, there's more. With my team from my undisclosed country. You know where I am from, but don't tell. I don't think so, but I'm not going to tell anyone. No. Hold on. There we go. So we were on a rented minivan. Okay. Everyone wearing corporate outfits of reasonable adults. And we were on the highway near the airport. And I was like, wait a minute. I put Led Zeppelin's Rock and Roll off The Song Remains the Same on my headphones. I was wearing an $80 jacket I bought at Haggard's. I felt like Jimmy on stage. Yeah. One of his dragon outfits, or like I think you need one of those outfits. I am not bragging on the price. I had to buy it for meetings. Hey, I mean, yeah. So listen. We went past the Pittsburgh Tunnel, and I shouted, "This is the tunnel from the movie." That sounded more like the Dave Grohl version of the intro. Oh yeah. You want to hear this is my.
Here we go.
So dude, and I start air guitar and shit. That is so funny. I felt like I was in 1973. Yeah, no. So and of course you've seen this movie so many times. And behold, I caught the eye of a coworker. We months later became something. Oh, okay. That's how much I love the company. Okay. But that's crazy. So obviously Jose has seen, so we're talking about The Song Remains the Same movie, which actually fun story about how I acquired a copy of that Zeppelin Vibes All Through the City. Yeah.
Cool.
I actually, and I'm going to admit it, but I shoplifted my copy of, well, 2 copies of The Song Remains the Same. Can't imagine if, that you'd probably mind blown, especially the skyline in the time lapse. Oh my God, we got to make that happen. We got to get you to New York.
Story
where you visit all the sites. But so my history with The Song Remains the Same. The video, I actually shoplifted it twice from the same Kmart, and the reason why I shoplifted it is because, well, the first one I shoplifted. And I'm like saying, I'm not, I don't condone, I'm not into stealing.
You did what you had to do at the time.
As a kid, I was kind of semi-juvenile delinquent, but so I boosted a VHS copy of The Song Remains the Same, but the copy that I took was defective. The picture was there. The picture was there, but the audio was like there was no audio. And so, flash forward a week later, I go to the same Kmart, and they have a copy of Song Remains the Same. So I stole it again.
Was this the Kmart in Wheeling? Martin is asking.
Yep. You know what? Not proud of it, but I'm pretty sure the Zeppelin guys would approve of the deviant behavior to. But anyway, so the second copy worked.
Okay.
And I watched that thing I was obsessed with it. And the thing about Zeppelin, okay, so as much as the death remained the same. The death remained the same. Push. But yeah, so unfortunately I was very I kind of got a little prejudiced about Zeppelin, especially when I discovered punk rock. So I became a huge fan of Black Flag and the Dead Kennedys, and I was listening to Napalm Death, just I was listening to some really aggressive music, and I'm like, oh, thank you, appreciate it. Yeah, so in a way, Zeppelin, I was I kind of viewed as bloated rock stars, sellouts, and I worked at a record store in Wheeling called Hip Cat Records. Martin knows about this place. Martin is a good old friend of mine from Wheeling, Illinois. So say hi to everyone. It really makes me appreciate we connected through it. Like I said, you're a talented man. Thank you.
Agreed.
No, she's my biggest fan of them all. So, but anyway, so for me, the record store I worked at, we had lots of Zeppelin bootlegs. So the vinyl CD, this was 88 when I started working here. So this was CDs had become the thing. People were dumping all their records, and you could get really amazing albums for $1 because nobody wanted them. They were all getting CDs. So there was I heard a lot of Zeppelin soundboard recordings, the tour over Europe. I heard a lot of that. I heard a lot of 75 shows, 73, 77. It was just there was just this glut of soundboard things here.
How much were they back then?
Oh, so if we're talking, for a single disc, it was at least $30. And this is 1988 money.
Holy shit.
Because usually a CD would cost you $15.
Yeah.
Sometimes 18, but 15. But yeah, bootlegs were at least, $30 to $50, depending if it was a double. Vinyl especially was expensive. It was still is $50 or $30 for a single record. So yeah, for a bootleg. But this was, and there was always rumors about where these bootlegs came from. Obviously it was a sound engineer who was rolling tape. They could have been recording it for their own, to listen to later. A number of artists do that, where they'll listen to their shows after the fact, but who knows? But these were amazing performances, and you were hearing them. But at the time, I'm just oh man, that's the worst playing I ever heard. I think there's a Fort Worth Zeppelin show from '75, Jose, which you probably heard. And that one, there's some great moments, but there's some rough playing on there as well. So I was already okay, fuck this, punk rock. it had to take, I don't know, it took a few years, like maybe a decade or more. Oh, I don't think I've heard the Seattle 73. Okay. So it took a number of years. We're talking like 20 years later. I went through a series of breakups before I ended up with the love of my life here, and we're 7 years strong. We've known each other since 1995, so we have a history. And we can get more on that later, but I started to, and actually it was you, Athena, who kind of helped me reignite what it is about Led Zeppelin that I love, because she's into all the rock stuff, I mean, so am I, but she was into Zeppelin, Metallica, like, and Bauhaus, listening to that stuff, Nine Inch Nails, like stuff that I listened to a lot. The Cure, like I used to listen to in junior high school. That I'm like, oh, I forgot about this band, and Zeppelin. And the thing about Zeppelin, live shows in particular, that I started to like listen to them differently. It was like, yeah, there's a lot of power, and and I felt like there was times when I was, how do I say this? Not feeling quite like the man that I'm supposed to be. Aww. I'm not the man I used to be. And, it's, just kind of licking my wounds and be like, I need to, I don't know, get back to myself, get my mojo back. And I think what got me back into Zeppelin and what made me really love them now was listening to the LA Forum show, from one of those LA Forum shows from 77. And I know Jose knows, he probably knows exactly what show I'm talking about, although they had a number of shows that they did. And there's actually a great episode about those, or series about those LA Forum shows. But that really just woke up my mojo, made me feel like I am a man, and kind of brought some swagger back into me. But then also kind of like realizing like, oh, there's this power about this group. And I think the late William S. Burroughs wrote this article. You might know this article, Jose, about how he went to a Zeppelin show and how he was like picking up that there's like this, it reminded him of like these, I forget what, the Jejuko musicians, or the master musicians of Jejuko, and kind of like, creating drones and putting the musicians and the audience into these trance-like states. Burroughs article. Yeah, what an, yeah. I mean, and this is a guy who's definitely not a rock and roller, but he understood what Zeppelin was doing and the magic they were doing. And you hear stories from people who were there, who were like, oh my God, those are like magical shows. And so anyway, so that's where my love of Zeppelin came back, through this woman, and just going through a lot of heartbreaks and heartaches, and just like, and I'm not saying that to be like a macho asshole, but being able to feel like a man again. So, hi, Lucy. Yeah. So this is, let's see what we got. Lucy's here. You got what is that? You got the Kanja root when you got your mojo. Yeah. Yeah. I can't unsee dates and not think of Zepp boots. It's a condition my lady knows. I have the same condition, but it's mainly with Pink Floyd, which I'm equally obsessed with Pink Floyd as much as anything else. And I know, Jose, we've talked about this because many live streams ago, you probably don't remember, but I asked you, are you going to do an episode on Pink Floyd? And you're like, oh, not really, because, they kind of were on a, what do you call it? They're kind of doing the same set over and over again. There might be some slight variations and stuff, but Whitesnake comes on the radio and she's like, Kiss is really good. So, but my lady is not rock savvy. Yeah. Right. Whitesnake comes on the radio and she's like, Kiss is good, just to mess with me. Oh, yeah. And of course, we just lost Ace Frehley. Rest in peace, Space Ace, wherever you are, dude. But get this, one time we broke up out of like 29 times. Damn, dude. Trust me, we love each other. Long story. No, I mean, sounds like you guys are at least trying to work through it. So we both went our separate ways, dated other people, and she dated a dude. Wow. In his car. Played Zeppelin on his Spotify. Oh. Uh-oh. And she said, "Stop this minute." Oh, man. You're like, no. All of my love. I know that song is about Robert Plant's dead son, but she said, all of my love. My ex is the biggest Zeppelin fan in this country and play tributes, so don't you dare. That right there, man. Yeah. There's only one person. I mean, no, believe me. I mean, Tina and I have that similar connection with the Monkees as well. Like, I mean, not that we're splitting up anytime soon. We're here to stay forever, but yeah. Let's see, what do we got here? I was dating someone else and I had a similar situation one day with music. She like, yeah, I mean, that could get weird. Yeah, especially if you're like, I mean, I hate to say it, JCM toxicity stories. No, this is great. I mean, I obviously, like, you seem to be a very passionate person, especially with the amount of passion and work you put on your videos. Your editing is just like, I mean, I was showing Athena, we were watching the New Orleans the latest episode that you put out, and she was like, how does he do that? And I asked you, and I think you said it was like was a caffeine and just inspiration, which is the best answer. I wear my life on my sleeve. Oh, yeah, me too. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I mean, I can't think of anybody that I've played music with that I know that plays music who has zero emotions. I think we all have, like, as a musician, like, we feel things in this world. And not to get political, but I just want to point out that as a musician, I feel like our purpose in this planet is, I stand up for the wrongs in this world, but also you're providing music to help other people, maybe either help them with getting through some really rough times, or in what's going on in the world, alleviating anxieties, and just
good music brings people together.
Yeah, and takes people out of their whatever they're feeling through. Oh, thank you, man. Yeah, no, and the thing is, like, when I was chatting with my friend John, who's my old bass player in the Vindictives, in the John Stockfish episodes, part 1 and 2, and something that we were kind of striving for at that time was perfection, and in punk rock, which is kind of weird. So there was a weird period in the 90s with punk rock where bands like Green Day got big, Bad Religion, all these labels, like Warped Tour was punk rock was, as we know, it was starting to evolve into this kind of like, everything has to sound a certain way. Everything has to look
like mainstreaming it.
Mainstreaming. And of course, kind of like Meatloaf, like, I fucking hate Blink-182 and like
same
all that shit. And so when we were doing this Hypno-Punko record, like, we were, I was playing with a click track, which was the first time I'd ever played to a click, and the first week or two was a nightmare. I mean, I could not get it together, but then once I figured it out, it was like, oh, it's actually kind of liberating. Oh yeah, I mean, click tracks, whether you like them or not, they can be beneficial, especially if you're working on a project with multiple people in different regions, and maybe not everybody can be in the same room together. So, it's, I mean, I can do it. I can definitely play with a click, but so you already got that, so the tempo's already set, but then, having to like really hit all those notes properly and making sure everything sounds great. And, you start to lose the grit a little bit, and then you end up like, you're not doing the music for yourself now, or for, this is what we're doing. It's now becoming like, what do you call it? I'm satisfying other people's expectations of what I think that they want to hear out of this. So, and yeah, now, like nowadays, I'm all about imperfections. I'm all about grit. I mean, yeah, obviously, you don't want to, hit a flub or anything like that. Or you don't want to record anything that sounds bad, or, but I think, and, obviously like with Zeppelin, or even like all the, I mean, there's other bands from that era. There's always like these little flubs or these little imperfections that just add to the music. It's like the sabor, if you will. And to kind of have that eradicated, and especially with like modern music, or, I mean, just from what I've heard, where like, with auto correction, and with like, you can, you can take out that little, flub on the snare, and then, replace it, so, there's tools now that you can clean up things, but then you're kind of losing it.
You don't want it so contrived, like a formula, contrived formula.
Yeah. And then, that's good. That's how I always viewed music, as, it's like, you're capturing the moments, you're capturing, it is like a diary, a musical diary of people's lives, where we're at. I mean, all the music that I've done is kind of like, it's like a diary. And so, yeah, it's been great. I mean, I'm very grateful that I can still play, that my limbs work. I still have some of my hearing. I do recommend anybody to wear earplugs, which I used to. I mean, I was very bad in my younger days not wearing earplugs, and then of course I'd leave to go to the, go home and go to sleep, and I'd sound like a Philip Glass piece going on, or Stephen Reich, just like,
crazy.
Yeah, man, drummers really take it. Yeah, I mean,
especially with those cymbals.
The cymbals, but just I mean, I feel like I've learned how to Stephen Reich applause. Yeah, like I mean, physically, like I finally learned how to have proper posture when I play drums. Actually, my friend Anthony Alardi, I sent him one of my drum videos, and he's like, it's like, you have perfect posture as a drummer. I'm like, oh, okay.
And you've learned how to drum smarter, not harder.
Yeah, I mean, that's the other thing. I mean, in my younger days, I wish I could find video. There's video of my old band, the Hee Hee Wives from high school, and there's where I was always like, like this, and it was all about like, oh yeah, I didn't even do my Dave Grohl impersonation. It's all about just letting it out, man, and just rocking out. I can play the drums, I can play guitar, I can do anything, man. I don't need the band. I got this. Thank you. That's my Dave Grohl. Oh wow, you've seen? Yeah, that's right. You Stevie Reich. Yeah, that's you tell that story a little bit, and weren't you next to Philip Glass or something like that? But that's Dave Grohl to that. Right. Well, it all started because there was this running joke about Dave Grohl showing up at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame every year. He was always introducing a band. It was just like he's everywhere, and I mean, he's a great drummer. Obviously, Nirvana, Scream, for hardcore DC, for Washington DC fans. Phenomenal drummer. And, I'm glad that he figured out a way to go from, the biggest band in the world to the second biggest band in the world. But then he's like showing up everywhere. He's in documentaries. He's just like, he can't get
everywhere.
And I used to joke, like, whenever the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, when he was there, it's like, I bet he's like hanging by the side of the stage. Because, there would be certain bands that wouldn't, that either refuse to show up or couldn't show up, to accept their award. And then it'd be like, I could just see Phil or you could see Dave Grohl on the side. It's like, hey man, hey, I got this. I can play drums. I can play guitar. Just like put me in something, man. I got this. So let's see. See, number one. Oh yeah, I was. If I was next to Philip Glass, I would ask him, "Have you heard about Glassdoor?" But yes, I hated seeing both him and Billy Bob Thornton in seemingly every rock. Yeah, and then I mean, why? Mm-hmm. Why? Yeah, it's so. I mean, I know. Dave got in trouble, with his marriage and everything, and we did kind of get a little respite from him, I guess. But then he comes up again because he fired Josh Freese, legendary drummer from the Foo Fighters. So, and there was, if you saw the posts about Josh Freese, really hilarious, like naming off the many reasons why he might have gotten fired from the Foo Fighters. But the upside is he still has a job. He's back to being the drummer for Nine Inch Nails. We got to see Nine Inch Nails last August.
Oh my God, it was
at the United Center, which Jose. So the United Center is, I think, across the street or down the street from what used to be the Chicago Stadium, which is where Led Zeppelin performed several times. In particular, the one show that I've always been obsessed about Zeppelin was the show where Jimmy passed out in the middle, and there's film of it. I think I played it.
Yeah.
It was during 10 Years Gone, which I love. That song is like one of my favorite Zeppelin tunes. Actually, that and In the Light are like deep cuts. Let's see, Grant. Yeah, Paxson for 3, Grant the rebound. Yeah, April 9th, 1977. Jimmy's food poisoning. I also like John Bonham's. He ate too many bananas. Oh yeah, Bulls fan. Yeah, so and Chicago Stadium. Well, one of these days, Jose, I'll do you a favor. We'll take a drive over there and try to find the spot. And if you want to use it for something, yeah.
You're actually
just
somebody passing out.
Yeah, on stage. And actually used to play basketball as a kid. Oh, okay, right on. Yeah, I mean, we were living in Chicago when all that shit was happening with the Bulls. I mean, it was a special time to be in Chicago. I mean, I can't say I'm a huge sports fan, but the Bulls meant a lot to a lot of people, and it was cool to be living in a city where you have a team that's winning constantly. So, oh man, let's see. Yeah, and then actually, I had a friend. I think I told you the story, Jose, who was at that April 9th show at Chicago Stadium, and he had just taken like a hit of mescaline. And
wait, who is this?
Oh, this is the guy I used to work with at Whole Foods.
Oh, okay.
He took a hit of mescaline, I think, right at the beginning of the set. So by the time he was peaking is when the show got shut down. Is Michael's restaurant still open? I think so, because I want to do a series on Chicago Sam. Yeah, so we'll talk about this later. But I because when you were talking about that, I'm like, we should go and take a trip to where the Chicago Stadium used to be, that neighborhood. So just to kind of give you an idea. And yeah, I mean, whatever you need me to find, yeah, we can do it. It was demolished. Yeah, it was. I remember. So I believe the last thing that happened at the Chicago Stadium was Pearl Jam performed there. They performed, I think, the last show to happen. This is great, man. This is like, I was worried that there wasn't going to be a lot of banter here, but yeah, no, definitely. I could be your Chicago guy. Let's see. I know, mescaline. Yeah. I'm sure I play it worse than you would. Oh man. So I'm going to go back here. So Gen X Muse asked, I worked at, yeah. So you worked at Whole Foods. I used to work at rival store Natural Growth. So I do remember Natural Grocers. Did Whole Foods end up buying them out, or was it the other way around? So yeah, I was with Whole Foods from, let's see, 1995 until quit on, went on hiatuses, sabbaticals, and then officially quit in 2021. Pretty much, I think 3 or 4 years after. Oh my God, the animals are here. 3 or 4 years after Amazon bought out Whole Foods, and well, now it's a whole another thing now. Let's see. The YouTube guy, he's from Chicago. Do you know Angel Report? Do you know Vance? Vance, the YouTube guy, he's from Chicago. I don't think I know Vance or Flotus. You'll have to educate me on that. Whole Foods didn't buy out Natural Grocers. They bought out another local. Okay. Yeah, I know. So at Whole Foods, I was working, I started off as a janitor, or as they call it, a porter, for a number of years, which is a cool job because you basically, the whole store is your department, and, you get to know everybody, and, it's kind of like it's a kind of cool solitary job. And, I would sneak my Walkman and listen to music and stuff like that. Or I would
Walkman.
I know, what's that Walkman? So, and then from there, I kind of, moved to other positions, and then ended up becoming a fish guy for pretty much the majority of my career at Whole Foods, and did management and all that garbage. But the cool thing about Whole Foods, especially when I was working there in so I was in one of the city stores in a neighborhood called Lakeview, which is the north side of Chicago. And in the early 2000s, when I was there, it was really cool. There was a lot of musicians and artists that worked there. So there was a time when Whole Foods was they had a very what do you call it? Open availability, flexible scheduling. So there was people that would, musicians that would go on tour.
I was just going to say, a perfect job for a musician.
Yeah. Or if we had a gig in the middle of the week, I could be like, hey, can I open on this day and then be off the next day, or sometimes close or whatever. But I met a lot of musicians. I did a lot of networking at the store. One of the big ones that I got to know was as an old friend, Matt Lux, who is an amazing bass player. He was in the Chicago underground duo. I think they put out a record on Throw Jockey Records, but at that time he was working overnight in the dairy department, so he wasn't. He had stopped touring, and basically was working at Whole Foods. And when we were working on Estiempo, the Aya's debut record, we were looking for musicians, and of course we hit up Matt, and we're like, "Hey, Matt, you want to play on this record?" And he wasn't too sure about it. He was kind of like, I don't know. But then we told him, "Oh, we're going to be recording at the late great Engine Studios," and that Engine Studios has a whole crazy story with. They used to be Idful. Now I'm getting deep here, but Idful Studios in Wicker Park was that was where what's her face? Exile Guyville, Liz Phair.
Oh, Liz Phair, yeah.
So Liz Phair recorded her Exile in Guyville record at Idful, along with Stereolab, who did lots of. I think they did the bulk of Emperor Tomato Ketchup. My friend's band Cap'n Jazz recorded there. Tortoise recorded some of their records at Idful. So it was the cool studio. I missed out on that studio, unfortunately. Brad Wood, who was the main engineer, he ended up moving to LA with Liz Phair to get her career going in Los Angeles. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. And so, long story short, Idful closed, and then it morphed into Engine. So when Aya was working on when we started recording, we didn't even know it was going to be called Estiempo. We were just like, my brother, he would save up a bunch of money and book a bunch of studio time at Engine, and we would basically have the weekend we had an engineer, our friend Colin. I mean, it was a really cool setup. amazing studio. I mean, you hear it on the record too. It's like it wasn't all like well produced. It's not about the production. It was just like the studio and just the inspirations that were going on. So anyway, so when Matt heard that we were going to be at Engine, he was like, "Oh man, I'm there, man. Let's do it." And so Matt is on. He plays bass on a lot of the Estiempo tracks, and it was through the Estiempo record. The studio is when the band Iron and Wine, who some of you might know who Iron and Wine is, from Sub Pop, and they were looking for a bass player, and of course, our friend, and they were working at Engine, and our friend Colin was engineering, and he was like, "Oh, I need a bass player," and we're like, "Well, we know a guy," and so we hooked him up with Matt. He, laid some tracks, got paid, everything was great, and then he was like, they were like, "Hey, like, we need a touring bass player," and of course he was like, "Nah, man, I don't want to do it." And he's like, "No," like, so they were throwing him money. He finally agreed, and he ended up becoming Iron and Wine's touring bass player. And I think he was on the records too, for a number of years. So that was in a way what that was our hookup there. Ooh, ow. Let's see. Recording in the studio must be stressful. I mean, it can be. It depends. I mean, usually when we were recording at Engine for the Estiempo record, it felt really relaxed. I mean, we were, in a way, we even though we were like spending so much money, we were, booking these dates, we didn't really have anything like any demos ready. I mean, there was a couple songs we might have had already kind of worked up, but in general, we were just experimenting. So I don't know, it felt very chill, but it can be. I mean, especially if you're working on somebody's session that you are not familiar with, and if they're like kind of, stressing about it, then yeah, you might pick up on it. But in general, I to quote Brian Wilson, when he's talking to his dad, Murray Wilson, like, I like to have a very relaxed environment in the recording studio. So how long did the sessions take? So the sessions for Estiempo by Aya started in August, September 2001. We were actually at another studio called Clava, which was in the Bridgeport area near Comiskey Park. And that was for the band that begat Aya when we were called Defender. We were a 3-piece, like, kind of like German progressive rock obsessed instrumental band with synthesizers and me on drums, kind of like Kraftwerk meets Can meets Noi. LOL.
Oh,
yeah,
Lucy.
I know. Murray Wilson does give me the ick, but yeah. So we started in 2001, and then our engineer Colin Studebaker, shout out to you wherever you are, he ended up leaving that studio and going to Engine. There was a little bit of drama about that because the Clava guys were expecting us to basically record the bulk of our record there. Anyway, that's Martin. So he's got some ear and eye candy for me. So they were a little bummed out that we were moving the sessions to Engine. So then from 2002 all the way to 2005, so we spent at least 4 to 5 years working on this record. And like I said, we would go in the studio, book a weekend, do a number of tracks, and then we come back a month or two later and do the same thing. And it'd be a lot of time that would span. I was also busy in my other band at the time, Mid-States, the late Mid-States. And we were during that time I recorded 2 albums with them. And we did a lot of playing, a lot of touring. So while I was busy with that band, we would get together in the studio and just do another track. And then the sessions ended up going elsewhere at one point. So we went to Soma, the late Soma Studios, which is where Stereolab and Tortoise recorded bulk of their records. Wilco did, I think, A Ghost Is Born or some of the tracks from there at that studio. My brother at one point flew to Malmo, to Stockholm, Sweden, to record at this place called Tambourine, which is where the Cardigans recorded all their stuff. Tom Jones, I guess, recorded there as well, to do string sections or sessions, to do the strings that are on the record. And they were arranged by, and I forget his name. His name is escaping me, but he was in this Swedish pop band called Eggstone, which, check out Eggstone, really good, well-produced pop music. And a lot of the stuff was recorded at that studio. So the strings, I mean, it's almost like ABBA, almost has that kind of ABBA vibe, but so that there was some sessions there. Yeah, like I said, the Aya story is very long and convoluted, and there's a lot of people that we invited, to do sessions. So it was like, the core of it was me and my brother Jorge, and then my before now she's my sister-in-law Lupe. So it was the three of us, and then we would have guest musicians just come on and just so. Anyway, I hope that's. I know it's a convoluted. So, did you get like refreshments on?
In the studio.
Like refreshments? Oh yeah. I mean, what kind of refreshments you're talking about? I mean, we kept it professional, but there was a couple times, and it's that's the thing about being in a studio, being in that same studio over and over. You're like, okay, let's push the limits and see what we can do. Oh, let's have a party. I think we did have a party at the studio, but in general, yeah, we were working hard. Let's see. Yeah. Love Lucy. Yeah. Where is the other studio you mentioned? Are you talking about Engine? Well, so where we recorded, so Clava was in the south side of Chicago near Comiskey Park. Engine was in
Comiskey Park.
Yeah. Yeah. I know we don't call it anymore, but
that's what I still call it.
I'm old school like, Chicago, what? So we're like Comiskey. And then, yeah, so Engine was in Wicker Park, which is kind of, it used to be like the hipster enclave, where you could afford to live there, and you might get mugged, you might get your car broken in, but your rent was cheap, and you can at least live there. Now you can't live there anymore. It's just way too expensive. I think that's kind of what's going on. Let's see, what is the name of it? So it's Clava, CLAVA was the first studio, and then Engine, that's the one that we did the bulk of Es Tiempo. And then the studio in Malmo, Sweden was called Tambourine. And the studio in the other studio in the Ukrainian village was called Soma, SOMA. And that place was wild just because it's a smaller studio. Their live room was a little bit smaller. I think mostly used to having almost like it would be like for a jazz band, but they had all these cool modular synths on the walls where you could process your sound. There was this piece of gear called the Phoenix that made everything sound really wild. Actually, you could hear that on a lot of the Stereolab songs. So on one of the Es Tiempo tracks, there's a little bit of that in there, but we didn't barely use any of it. I think it was one of those days where we just recorded. We just rented the studio for the day, tried to record something, and we got a little bit of that. We got a little bit, but not too much. And then we did the vocals at this place in Michigan called Key Club. And I think the guy who was running it used to work, or it was working with Steve Albini at one point. So he was one of his, what do you call it? Well, yeah, one of his, I guess one of his workers, or one of the people that worked at the studio. Let's see. Once my friend record store owner gets back, I'll tell him to play Feed the Dragon at the store on Spotify. Yeah, I'll force him to. Well, I mean, sometimes you have to use brute force in order to get your point across, right? This has been a fascinating listen of your musical experience. Thank you. And it's I wasn't expecting to get down this rabbit hole, but here we are. I mean, I can tell you a lot of stories. Angel will have to leave for the corporate supermarket as they will close in 30 minutes. Athena, nice to meet you. Stay safe and don't listen to Bat Out of Hell, please. No, yeah, if that record ever comes into this house, I'm going to take it and break it across my knee. So you're the best, man. Thank you, Jose. Thank you for the questions. Yeah, let's talk soon, okay? Yeah, we'll make an episode. Oh, yeah. Okay. Let's see. And destroy my cassette copy. Yes. If I find a copy in the wild, I might have to record myself doing that. But yeah, let's keep in touch. I really want to talk to you at some point. And yeah, I want to get to know you as well, Jose, because you're a good dude. I really love your channel, and I really appreciate you. We really appreciate the friendship that we are building right now. So yes, we'll do a Zoom call, and yeah. But have a good night. Get hit that store before they close. Yeah. So.
Are you gonna?
All right. I think I'm gonna wrap it up. But before we go, I wanted to do an unboxing. So, oh man, you are legit too. So, I've been saving these for a while, and if you go on the channel, there's what do you call it? There's a number of unboxing videos. So I've been kind of saving these for a while because I wanted to show off what I got, and so whenever people send me things, I'm like, I want to share with the world, do a little show and tell. So this came all the way from Oakland, California. A guy that I barely know, but he used to work at the Reckless Records in Chicago. His name is Steve, and we're part of a Facebook group called Swap, Buy, and Trade. So it's basically like a Facebook marketplace, but people selling records and vinyl. There's a lot of cool stuff, and there's also a lot of expensive things. But my good friend Mark Lux, who's out there, shout out to you wherever you are. Not Albini. Hey, rest in peace, Albini. Yeah, I met him once. Actually, I recorded with a different project at Electrical Audio, and that's a fun story too. So anyway, so my friend Mark Lux, he's we chat about stuff, chat about music. Actually, we were talking about Live Aid a lot because he was also hearing me talk about Live Aid quite a bit. So, but he was telling me about this Facebook group, and he's like, if you're looking for records, let me know. And then he told me about this guy who's like, hey, are you interested in this record? And I'm like, yeah, because I don't have a copy of it. So we, information gets exchanged. We meet online, blah, blah, blah. And then I'm like, oh, and so I'm going to present this record. So yeah, so I didn't get this for free, but it was at a very good price. What have we got here? Oh yeah, you ready? You ever runs it? Oh yeah, Vic Bondi. We were talking about that. I know I think he doesn't live in Chicago anymore. Vic Bondi, yeah. Actually, I just heard worth checking out is his interview with Jello Biafra on his podcast. It was really good, and because I forgot that Articles of Faith had a number of, I think, a reissue of their early records on Alternative Tentacles. I mean, this is off the top, but anyway. But yeah, no, I've never. I have met Albini a couple times, but definitely not Buds. But anyway, so I got this record for a fair price, and I'm really excited to show you. Let's see. Oh my God. Can we anticipate this? Here we go. People, are you ready? Are you ready, people? All right. Okay. And I'll pull out the records first. Okay. Let's see. Is there anybody, Chris, are you a fan of the Soft Machine? Now, this, I believe, is the censored cover. So the Soft Machine, they were mid 60s, 65, kind of like a almost pre-jazz fusion-y band, but also like had psychedelic moments. The main members of the band were you had at least the original lineup. It was Kevin Ayers on bass and vocals, the great Robert Wyatt on drums and vocals. Who is Robert Wyatt is like my spirit animal. Because at some point I want to do a solo record, but not on drums, not with drums, but a vocal record. And Robert Wyatt is kind of like my inspiration to do that. And who else is in here? Oh yeah, Michael Rutledge. But yeah, they were part of the swinging London scene. They're contemporaries with Pink Floyd when they were getting started, so they used to play together. In fact, like members of the Soft Machine played on the first the first Syd Barrett solo record I think the first record had members of Soft Machine, but this first record is amazing. Let's see. I know them, but not enough to know the music. They're very psych, but also jazzy. And this is a cool. So this label I've been very obsessed with, and you probably heard of it. The record label Probe. So they were like ABC Records, kind of like I guess this is like their psychedelic record label. Trying to think what other bands were on there. I had this stuff looked up a while ago. I was going to do an unboxing video and I completely forgot it. But this record is fantastic. I'm so excited. I've never had this on vinyl. So, and I looked it up to see what the deal was with the cover, and this was censored. So I think the original cover, there's like a naked woman backside on there. But the band members are on here. And it's supposed to be like a die cut.
So they just
took it out. I mean, the only hint of the cover is the woman with looks like a toy turn thing, whatever you call that. So, but fantastic record. Check it out, Chris. It'll blow your mind, man. So I'm really excited to have this. I can't wait to listen to this because, this is frightfully groovy shit. And also let's thank Athena for the amazing work she did on the shrine.
Oh.
There we go.
Where's 2 pumpkins we're gonna carve tomorrow?
Yeah, so we're actually staying home. I know tomorrow is going to be the No Kings protests. We've already been to a few of them already, but we're going to stay in and just lay low. So, but if anybody's out there that's going to do it, please,
we might drive by.
Yeah, you might go
honk our horns, show our support.
Let's see. I know. I mean, I believe I shared the link to Abigail, but she's busy. So I'm all right. So now this one I've been really. I feel bad that I have not opened this in a while, or haven't opened this at all, I should say. But so I got this from one of my oldest friends on the YouTube sphere. One of his biggest supporters and champions. I'm talking about Mr. Ben from the YouTube channel Oddity Archive. If you're not familiar with Oddity Archive, it's this channel that talks about lost media, obsolete formats. The episode that I checked out that made me a fan of his was the Max Headroom episode, the famous pirating of the Max Headroom. It was in Chicago. 2 TV stations got hijacked. Oh, have you had? Oh no. Okay, I gotta find him. I gotta find that episode. Yeah, no. Me and Ben, we go way back. So I got a chance to to talk to Ben a couple months ago because I know his father passed away, and I'll get a little personal here about that. But so something that Ben and I have in common, besides having YouTube channels, is his father was suffering from dementia. My mother is going through early stages of dementia. I mean, she's still, she's still there, but I could see like slowly things are, there's a decline a little bit. Whereas Ben's father had a really bad time, and and I'm not saying anything that he hasn't said himself. He's opened up in the past year about what was going on. Yeah, I didn't do him just. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, Chris. Yeah, I mean, I'm very grateful that I still have my father and I still have my mother. But yeah, my mom is, she still has it upstairs, but I'm starting to see her like forgetting things, and just like a lot of memories are starting to kind of fade, which that's yeah. I guess that's the reason, a big part of doing this channel too, is just trying to keep these memories, because at some point, our brain is going to be, we're going to lose our ability to recall things. I'm catching that too, that I'm like certain things I used to be able to recall like that. Now it's like, I got to like, oh, what was that again?
Well,
I got to look.
You still have like an amazing memory though. Everybody says it all the time. Like, how do you remember all this stuff?
Yeah. Well, Andy was the best person. Like, you remember a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like,
true.
And I guess I do get a little like, not frustrated, but I do get a little like, kind of like a little annoyed when I hear somebody say like, I don't like that happened 30 years ago. I don't remember that. I'm like, I remember every single thing that happened about that. Live Aid. I remember all that. I remember when I went to see Fugazi.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jose, he had to go. He had to go to the corporate supermarket. Yeah, wasn't that great having him? I had told Jose to jump on, but I guess they were having internet issues. So anyway, so back to Ben. So I want to have Ben at some point. I think it would be cool. I know he's got a lot going on, but yeah, please check out Oddity Archive. And yeah, I would love to hear. I would love to hear that. I don't think he remembers me. I have reached out to him previously. So he's not on here, right? No. Good. I love Ben. He is a little challenging to have a chat with. And I'm not saying because he's a mean person. I think he's kind of one of those shy guys.
I mean, he hides behind a box.
He hides behind a box. Everything he does is very solitary. So there's no, whereas, I have my partner as a collaborator. Oh yeah. The Peter, Lemongello episode. that was a video that he found of this guy. And the whole story about Peter Lemongello. Yeah. We'll have to talk about that later. But I mean, but yeah, like I said, Ben, you have to like, I don't know, either you have to really get in the weeds with him about certain things, or you just have to do all the talking sometimes. And, otherwise Ben will just like not say a word. So I don't know. I mean, I'm pretty sure, Chris, you had a pretty good, you know how to handle guests, if you have to fill up, kind of like that Beach Boys songs. When guests are born, he fills up the slack. Down, Johnny Carson. The major networks break his back. Anyway, I am totally Man, we're at the almost 2:30 mark. So
let's break open this.
All right. So Ben, we had a really nice chat. We caught up. We hadn't talked to each other in a number of years. And he, we were talking about his solo record that he put out, because I was trying to get him to tell me why he has to hide his face. Oh, you're not gonna get much out of that from him. He's a very cagey. He did tell me this crazy story, and I hope he's not here listening.
Well, don't say it. I mean,
So yeah, but somebody found his identity.
Oh.
I mean, that's pretty. Yeah. Yeah. Somebody actually they went when his father had his funeral. One of his fans found out where the funeral was and actually traveled all the way.
Yeah, that's creepy.
So he met one of his fans, but according to Ben, if we ever got to meet each other, he would love to meet up in person. So I'm guessing, yeah, like, but I think I've heard different versions of the story of why he covers his face. Some say that's because he thinks he's ugly or just privacy. So, I mean, that's the thing about YouTube. It's like once you get on, like people start to know you. And
no, I mean, there's people who keep their names, anonymous for that reason.
So I've been saving this for a while, and now I'm going to show you what he sent me. So I don't know if you remember a while ago, but Ben had put out a physical copies of his music. So here we go.
Oh, wow.
So this is Ben Minot's music from Oddity Archive. So, so I'm guessing it has the theme song on here. Yeah, Pavand. That's the theme song for the Oddity Archive episode. So, it's the long version too. But yeah. Anyway, so I guess there's a lot of the music that's featured on his TV show or on that he uses, because that was the thing, he was having issues with copyright strikes. So, and he's a musician, so he and that's a cool thing to do. Like, I mean, like I say, all I could do is play drums really, but Ben can play guitar, he can play a little bass and whatever. So, I love to hear that. Chris just said that they did an a cappella version of the Pavand theme. Bam, 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 bam. Bam, 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 bam. So, okay, so Ben was kind enough to, because when we were talking, I'm like, I heard that you have copies of your music available, and he's like, oh, I'll just send it to you. So I'm like, oh, okay. So a week later, lo and behold, he sent me, like that. Yeah, it's like, I don't know if it's like a table or if it's actually a drum, but I mean that piece alone is like, I mean it's iconic. It suits the mood of the show. Yeah, so I can't say enough good things about Ben and Out of the Archive. So, and I got the cassette of it too. And yes, I have a tape player. Oh wow, okay. So I got to open this up because I want to show you. So I love, and Chris, you know this. So back in the day when cassettes were a thing, the coolest thing about like when you'd get like one of these like factory made cassettes is like the shell.
Oh yeah.
Like, and especially if it was like a special, like if a band went a little extra and either had like a different color to the shell, or there would be like very like specific artwork on the shell. It's just like you're like, yeah. And so this is cool. I'm like already like, so this is the shell. Yeah. So music from the Oddity Archive. Ooh, there's a lot of glare there. So that's side 2. That is very cool. I don't even think that's not even a sticker. That's like printed on there. So yeah, that's there we go. Oh yeah, the Battle of Elderbush Gulch. That's a classic. Kirwan, Nitrogena, Goblin Truck. Everybody's got their own ideas. Side 2, you got, what do we got there? Telesound, In Your Hands, Fade, Buckwalt. Hey!
Okay, Mochi.
Anyway, oh yeah, and there's the original. So at the end of side 1 is the original Pavand. So. But I mean, you might as well just pull out the J card.
Do it.
Yeah, so there's the arts. And then on the inside, which is really cool. I like this. This is like eye for attention here. So this is, I just saw the dedication. This album is dedicated to the memory of Neil Innes. Oh, Neil Innes, Bonzo Dog Doodah Band, the Ruddles. That's very cool. 1944 to 2019. Death date totally coincidental for making it okay to ruttle my way through an album. Oh, Ben, that is so cool. Oh yeah, and there's like I forgot that he actually got some guest musicians on here. Like, anyway, I've been wanting to share that what we got here. Yeah, and it's funny, we haven't talked the Monkees. And in fact, yeah, we didn't even get into our monkey. We didn't get to monkey around, Chris. We'll have to do that the next time we talk. So, oh man, but we're gonna sign off in a little bit. But yeah, if you have any questions for me before we loving the box set. Oh yeah, so Chris got the Pisces. Was it Pisces, Aquarius, Capricorn, and Jones Limited, the Monkees record?
Oh wow!
Now, did you pay for that, or did you get a hookup? Because we were talking about the fact that a lot of the YouTubers got their John Lennon box sets, the power to the people, except for Chris. Nor did I. Oh, you had to buy it. Okay, well, I mean, there you go. But I'm looking forward to hearing your review. Well, you have your YouTube channel up finally. Was it the Gen X Muse? And there's a video of Chris unboxing the Monkees box set. Yeah, and it looks cool. I mean, like, no, yeah, I know. The same here. I mean, well. I guess I wouldn't call myself big, but I did get gifted these, so there you go. So I am kind of cool.
You have friends who send you stuff all the time.
Oh, I wish. Anyway, this has been great. I didn't expect it to get this in the weeds and kind of narrowing and going here and there. The next time we do this again, which I don't know. I definitely want to do this again. Maybe when we get to 400.
Yes.
So please.
In another year, no.
Yeah, no. I think we're going to try to. Well, maybe after I have Chris, Gen X Muse on my show. Hopefully that'll bring our stock up a little bit. But also, I want the goal about having this episode out soon, Chris, besides just not having to sit on unfinished projects, but also, and you said something, and I just want to say, Chris, I really appreciate the kind words you said on your last podcast. Check out the Gen X Muse on Spotify. They did a great episode about Link Ray and the song Rumble, the single. And and the thing about Chris's show is like, you come with the facts, but also like it's not just dry. It's funny, and just there's a lot of experience that I hear that's coming out from whatever's coming out of your head, especially whatever it is. Yeah, you might be looking at a Wikipedia, or for reference, but I think you also mix in your own personal observations and what it is about whatever subject that you're talking about, what it means to you and what you're bringing out. And I really appreciate all the nice words you said about me and about the channel, but also I really want, if anybody's out there listening, please put Chris on your show. You will not regret it. You're going to have a great time with Chris. It'll be fun. But yeah, no, it's good I mean, I know Lars is not really a fan of Wikipedia, and I get it. Facts are never wrong, but they're good to, it's almost like it's like your starter pack info about whatever it is you're looking up, and then from there you can kind of venture off and you know, get your source from other places. So, but I really dig your show. I'm actually listening to the your unfinished music, the John and Yoko unfinished music series. So I'm really excited to delve into that. Yoko Ono is doing has her exhibit at the Museum of Contemporary Art in Chicago. That's running, I think, till February. So we're going to go at some point, maybe shoot an episode, with my good friend Jack, who's the singer in our band, Geezer Senior. Please check out Geezer Senior. Anyway, this has been great. I'm really, yeah, I mean, you have to, especially you're walking around, you're like, I just gotta, I'm going to go over here and fart next to the whatever that piece is with the ladder and the and the magnifying glass. So anyway, but yeah, this has been great. Man, I was thinking we'd probably cut it in an hour, but then
people started coming on later on. It's just like, okay.
Yeah. So, but anyway, I love each and every one of you. I love you, Chris, Jose, Martin, Lars, wherever you're at. Dylan, thanks for hanging out. I hope it was amusing and fun. Yeah, and we'll back for another live stream down the road. Look out for your episode, Chris, next week. They're having pizza. I haven't had pizza in a while.
You just talked about that today too.
I was at the grocery store because Athena's been on her
vegan journey,
which I'm an omnivore, so I eat everything. But when we're at home, I'm supporting her, and so whatever she's eating, I'm eating, or whatever. And one of the things that we had to take out of the menu was pizza. Because I used to eat pizza every single night.
And I'd always get the corner pieces.
And she would eat my corner pieces. I would rip out my favorite is pepperoni. So I'd tear off the pepperoni, and it'd just be like and sometimes she wouldn't even ask me. I would walk away to get something, and I come back.
The corner pieces are gone.
Hey, there's thieves here. So,
yeah.
So anyway, we were at the grocery store today looking at how ridiculously expensive things are getting now.
Everything is, but we passed by the Home Run Pizza, and I'm like, I miss so much.
I know,
pizza.
And I said I haven't had pizza, and even I haven't even had. Well, let's see, when was the last time I had pizza? I mean, that's crazy. I used to eat. I mean, I would eat pizza every single day. Even at Whole Foods, I would eat 2 slices of pizza. That was my jam. Or in the case of like getting a frozen pizza, I would eat a whole pizza.
Minus the 4 corners.
Sometimes with a bowl of soup. I always like soup and pizza. That's the combo. But
it's been a minute.
It has been a while since I've cooked a pizza in the oven. But it's cool because I'm cooking other stuff. I'm trying to help Athena with getting enough protein. So we're not withering away. So, okay. Well, I think this is a good place to go. So anyway, be safe out there. As Bailey Sarian always says, you make good choices. Let's all make good choices. Yeah. Please share this with anybody that might be interested. But thank you again for joining us on this journey, getting us to 302 subscribers. There'll be more good stuff coming on as we go along with Angel Network. Anyway, bye. Thank you.
Bye.